What's going on, good people? YouTube, it is me, Chavez, and I am back. We are back with another day, another live stream, player prop talk here on the channel. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. I hope your Tuesday was a good Tuesday. I hope you made some profits. We'll go over the slips that we created on our stream yesterday, as well as some additional plays today. I can take your questions, your player props, throw them in the chat. We'll use a couple of resources to dig into them and decide if they're a good player or not. Hopefully we can build out a couple of slips today, and it won't take us a whole hour to do it. Yesterday's value was a little lack, but hopefully Wednesday presents a little more for us to roll with. As we start off every live stream, #blessed. You woke up today. It's pretty simple. A lot of people die in their sleep every day. If you're hearing this or seeing this, you did not die. So I think your day is off to a pretty good start. Not many things better than waking up. It's like the biggest win of all. The biggest win of your entire day is waking up, to be honest. After you wake up, you can add to that and play on better. First time deposit match up to 250. Scan that QR code for that match. Yesterday, there were 4 promos given out on better. 2 of them hit. 1 of them didn't. And, well, no. 1 of them hit. 1 of them got canceled. And then the other 2 didn't. So we had Austin Riley get a base hit. He goes over. We had Jose Ramirez get canceled. You had Gunnar Henderson, didn't do anything, and Chris Sanchez, 3.5 strikeouts. Seemed to be a little too high for him as he finished with just 2 strikeouts. So if you took the under on his 4.5 Ks, you made a smart play. I did not touch that promo because I don't really trust Christopher Sanchez. A little bit of an overrated fantasy pitcher or overrated player prop pitcher, I guess, but tend to stay away from his props. They don't really do me well. We're going to be using the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer today to help us dig into some value. We'll find the value using the optimizer. If you have any interest in using the OddsJam Optimizer for your own research and slip building needs, 30% off your first month. Use my promo code right there on the screen. We're also going to be using props.cash to help us locate or to help us dig into the value. So on props.cash, we can dig into game logs, BVP, just a little bit deeper into the stats and really try to understand what makes this play a good play or not such a good play. And that's what we'll be using today. Pretty decent day in terms of slips altogether. Couple wins on better. Couple other wins. 1 on underdog. 1 on PrizePicks. Just a lot of little wins yesterday. I call them jabs. I'm setting up the overhand right. I'm setting up the uppercut. That's the big hit. So sometimes you just get a bunch of little jabs in there. And that's what you build your bankroll off of, and then you land the haymaker, and then that's what ties it all together. 10-day pass, $9.99 in the Discord. Shoot me a DM if you want in. $1 a day, basically. If you signed up this week, you've already made your money back times 6, maybe something like that. So I don't think there's a better deal in the market than this. 10-day pass, $9.99. If after 10 days you didn't like it, you can leave. But if you want to stick around, there are other options for you. But 10-day pass, a great intro into the Discord. August is already a better month than July, and we're only a week into the new month. Already seeing higher ROI. July was a rough month for me, at least. What's going on? JR. Jordan, yeah, Jordan came through. That guy. Nice. What's up, Rosalie? Good morning. Philip Marshall, what's up? What great bet do we have for today? Let's find out. We're going to find out here in a second. We're going to pull up the odds jam optimizer. We're also going to pull up PrizePicks here in a second. And then we'll dig into props.cash as well. So let's go. Let's go. Took us forever to build a slip out yesterday. Hopefully it does not take us too long to just find value. The PrizePicks slip that we played yesterday was a little ragtag. Just honestly, not a ton of value that was on the board. Took some risks with some plays and they didn't work out. Curry over points, didn't come close. The under on Devin Booker, threes, he knocks down 5. This is the Olympic basketball problem that we have. There's no set rotation. These guys aren't on their original team. Somebody new is stepping up every game, and it's kind of a guessing game there. So definitely won't be taking any more risks on Olympic basketball unless we get some solid support on these lines. So I'm staying away from these gut feelings and maybes. So trying to build some profitable slips here. All right, so we got the optimizer pulled up here on the screen just to show you what I'm seeing here. Rosalie said, I like Matt Waller over total bases and Paul Goldie under HRR. So we'll get into those in a second. We'll see if those present value. We'll use props.cash to dig into those. But just to kick things off on the optimizer, if you were looking for some high upside plus EV plays, you got Blake Snell projecting for the under on that fantasy score of his. You got an esports play, CS2 play, Weeza over 5.5 first map headshots, only 1 data point. We do have an Olympic basketball prop here, Philippe Petrusev under 13.5 points and rebounds. LeBron James under 21.5 points and rebounds. Now this game is not until tomorrow, so if you put this in your slip, you're just going to be waiting out. It is kind of fun when you build a slip out and the last play to cash you out is a little sweat. You got to wait a day or two. So you got like 5 hits waiting on that 1 hit. That's fun. It's not fun when your slip is already sunk and that damn slip is just sitting there looking at you and you know you're not going to win no matter what that last player does. So there's the good and bad of putting in a play that's like a two day away kind of play. Eric Fetty under his fantasy score. You got Sunjaim under 68.5 strokes. This one's getting a lot of support. I typically don't see 4 data points on golf props, but this one is standing out. Nikola Jokic under rebounds and assists. This is looking like some of his NBA player props here. 19.5 is his line. And it just goes on and on and on and on. I think we have enough to build out a slip on underdog for sure. I think we can piece together a 6 pick. That's a plus EV. I don't think we'll have to touch any of these plays on Thursday. I think we can find value on the board without, putting in a play that we have to wait. It's just one day. It's just one day. It's just tomorrow. I mean, maybe we do put a slip together with a few plays for tomorrow. It's not that long of a wait. Davis Thompson under strokes, and then the Sanjay was what? under. Man, we need an over and an under to put into a slip. Otherwise, PrizePicks won't let, or excuse me, Underdog won't let us put those two plays. Aaron Judge under 10.5 fantasy score. That could be one. All right. Let's quickly look at PrizePicks, but I want to go back to Underdog and put a slip in before some of these plays get taken off the board. What's going on, Drip? JR says, yeah, Braun killed me, needed 15 points from him. Yeah. I was surprised on that one, dude. A lot of these plays, you know, especially Olympic basketball is risky. I don't know. Y'all remember FIBA last year? Man, those plays were just risky, man. We weren't getting any support on those. You're just kind of guessing on those. At least with the Olympics, we're getting a lot more books taking action on these. All right. First play on the board is George Kirby under his fantasy score. Next play is this Eric Betty, Taj Bradley over 10 strikeouts. Scooble under fantasy score. Ketel Marte under fantasy score. Then we're going to get into some of the gold plays. Jose Ramirez under. Blake Snell under strikeouts. And then we're getting into the red. So let's check out BETR. Very close to a perfect hit on BETR. Our slip on BETR yesterday, actually, well, this is loading up. Our slip on BETR yesterday. The slip we built out on BETR, we used the, did we build out a slip on BETR yesterday? I'm trying to think of the free square that we used. Was it Ramirez? I think it was Ramirez. And then that game got canceled between Cleveland and I don't know who were they supposed to play? The Diamondbacks? I don't know. Yeah, so the slip that we put out on BETR yesterday. So here's what we ended up with. So we put in a 5-pick on BETR, okay? We put in a 5-pick slip on BETR. Here's what was left. Ramirez gets scratched. Yastrzemski got scratched. We're left with Renfroe under. He hits the under. Turner under. He hits the under. And Vladdy under total bases. He hits the under. So this gets bumped down from a 10x to a 2.5x, which the payout on that is a lot better than PrizePicks at just 2. So there is a slight bump in payout, but had Ramirez played, I like to think that he would have got the over on this, and that would have given us a 4. You know, if Yastrzemski gets canceled, then we're still left with a 4 pick, which is a higher payout. So this was the kind of day it was yesterday. It was just a lot of DMPs. Here's Grayson Rodriguez gets scratched probably like 15 minutes before the first pitch. The whole day he's on the board with props and everything, and all the Blue Jay props are based off of this matchup with Rodriguez, and then he gets canceled. He gets scratched. Albert Suarez takes his spot and ends up having himself a pretty strong game. On the other side, you had Chris Bassett just really putting it to the Orioles. So Gunnar Henderson's play didn't do anything. The only prop in this slip that did not hit for us was Lawrence Butler, 0 for 4. My man, I had him featured on my YouTube short yesterday, my value short. He didn't do anything. Had he hit, again, another 4 or 4, perfect slip. One play away from these. Underdog slip. Again, Aaron Judge gets scratched. Naylor gets scratched. Bregman doesn't go over strikeouts. So I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do about these DNPs. They really mess up a slip. So a lot of jabs yesterday. No haymakers yesterday. Hoping to change it up. Hoping we can get some haymakers in today and build out some winning slips. But yeah, our better slip did all right. What was left of it? What was left of it did all right. How did everybody do? Anybody have a big win? Put it in the chat. I want to know. I want to know what y'all did yesterday. What's up, T? All right. So here's better. We just got through looking at the better slip that we built yesterday. You got Jordan Spieth under his strokes. Got Quan under bases. Tariq Skubal under hits. Jordan under walks. Jordan under bases. Arcia under hits, runs, and RBIs. Estes over hits. Altuve under runs. Gurriel. The funny thing about all these props for the Astros going under. The funny thing about that is when I checked out Fliff had the over 10.5 runs in this game between the Astros and the Rangers. I don't know if that's still up or not. It's not. I wonder if Rebbit has the game total for the Astros and Rangers. This morning, over 10.5 total runs. So if you have all these Astros players going under their prop, who is actually producing today? Yeah, it's not up here anymore. Maybe too many people were taking the under on it. I don't know. It was up here earlier. I just found that weird. There's really that's negative correlation there. If you're trying to go over on game total, unless they have the Rangers scoring 10 runs and the Astros giving you 1, it's possible. We've seen some lopsided games this season. We've seen some football scores this season. All right, let's build out a quick slip on underdog. No promos. No promos on underdog that we can actually play today. On my dashboard, I have the Anthony Richardson passing yards, CJ Stroud passing yards, Jonathan Taylor rushing yards, and Stephon Diggs receiving yards. These are all promos on my dashboard. I have not put them into a slip, but I have 5 days to figure out how I want to play these. So I'm not going to put those into a slip yet. Those aren't exactly slam dunks. I mean, maybe the CJ Stroud passing yards. The Stephon Diggs receiving yards feels a little too low, but Stephon Diggs, he's not I don't think he's the number 1 receiver in Houston this season. I mean, I think it's like 1A, 1B between him and Nico Collins. You got Tank Dell, you have Noah Brown, you have Dalton Schultz, I think, with 1 year left on his contract. You have a lot of weapons in that offense. So this isn't Buffalo where he is going to get 12 targets a game. So 48 receiving yards feels low, but also it's a different team. And it's his first game on that team. So you don't ever really know how that's going to turn out. It could happen in one pass, honestly. It could happen in one pass, or he can have 6 receptions for 40 yards or some shit like that. So, or maybe D'Amico Ryans goes run heavy that game and decides he just wants to slow things down and play defense. Who knows? All right. Blake Snell under 36.5 pitcher fantasy score. I'm going to hold off on that one. I am going to put this Wheezy play in here. I'm going to go over headshots for Wheezy, even though it's just one data point. That's a hell of a under. I mean, that's a hell of a line, -203. I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to skip these two for now. I do want to build out a slip with a bit more support. Aaron Judge under his fantasy score. I'll hate on Aaron Judge today. I'll put this in my slip. W1, that's not that big of a discrepancy. I am going to put this Sungjaeim in here and see if it's still up on the board. I remember when I first started playing player props, I thought nobody told me this, but I thought you had to build a slip out with all the same sports. So I would only put basketball, and I never even looked at golf or tennis or anything. And now I'm just like, my slips are just all over the place. Asia Wilson over her points. That one is getting enough support. You got three lines on this one. And it's at the 0.5 too, so it's a good over. There's George Kirby under fantasy score. We'll keep scrolling down. Jordan under fantasy score, maybe. I have something where I don't like to go to a player for the under after they hit a home run, because baseball is a very momentum-driven sport, and once a player gets a taste, I think that could be the start of a hot streak. Especially when there's a lot of plays on the board, you don't have to take that play. Now, when a player goes off for like 3 home runs in a game and drives in 7 RBIs, the next game is going to be a letdown, because that's really hard to match. So in those situations, you typically see a spike in the fantasy score, and you can take the under on that one. But Jordan has been in a bit of a slump, and now he could just be heating up, and I don't want to be on the wrong side of that shit. So I personally will just lay off the Jordan props today. Can't play this one because it's another under. Jokic is only getting 1 data point. We have history under headshots. We got this Eric Fetty over 5 strikeouts versus the Rays. I'm gonna put that one in there. Over 5 strikeouts. Some of my picks got taken off the board. Oh, the Wheezy play got taken off the board. All right, so we lost Wheezy. Jarren Duran over 7. Jarren Duran is my guy. He didn't do anything yesterday, but 7 feels a little low. We'll look into this one a little deeper on props.cash. You can build this out with me as I'm talking about them, or you can wait for the link to be put in the chat, whatever you want to do. But I'm just going through the data here. Blackman over fantasy score. It's interesting. You know what? I'm gonna go under this LeBron James. This is the highest line for his PRA that we have. As you can see, BetMGM and Bovada have this at 27.5. Underdog is giving it to you at a much higher line. He can finish with 28 and go under, and that's a pretty decent game for PRA. That's a pretty decent performance there. All right, that's our first slip. That was much easier than yesterday, where we were just struggling to find value. I'm drinking my coffee out of a milk jar. It's a cool jar. I don't see, milk usually comes in a plastic gallon or whatever. And this one, you can still find some of these farmer, these local brands or whatever. And they sell their milk in a glass jar. It's just kind of cool. It's a throwback. So anyway, I kept the jar and I was like, I'm gonna drink my iced coffee out of it. Kind of like a pimp cup. a pimp jar. Maybe I should put some jewels on it and shit. All right, let me grab this link. I was just trying to buy some time while everything was loading up. And then I'll put this in the chat. So we got our first slip of the day. Underdog is going to be thrown in the chat. Where are you? All right. T says he's got a day off today. Yeah. T does a good job. T does a better job of reminding people about the Discord than I do, and it's my Discord. So yes, it's been a super slow summer. I mean, I picked a really weird time to create a premium Discord right at the ending of NBA season, kind of in the beginning of MLB, the deadest season around. And so for the last 3 months, we've just been living off of MLB plays and esports plays and whatever other sport, you know. But we're getting ready to kick off a new season in the NFL. We'll have baseball, like the busiest time for baseball heading into the playoffs. We got WNBA playoffs returning. And then at some point you got the NBA. So like we're getting ready to ramp up into like the busiest sports seasons, which is great. So it's gonna get a lot better. The profit's gonna get better. The ROI is gonna get stronger, and more money will be made. That is college football. Exactly, Marcus. College football. I can't forget about college football. There's a lot we'll have to talk about. So absolutely. All right, let's check out this Wallner and Paul Goldsmith. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw these two names, I thought Paul Wall. I mean, you got all the letters in there. You just got to like flip the names around. Like if you would have asked me to look up Paul, Goldie, and Wallner, that really would have looked like Paul Wall to me. All right, let's go to PrizePicks. We just built out an underdog slip. Appreciate y'all being here. 928. We got our first slip in. We're gonna check out a couple of MLB player props for you all. And let me go ahead and take this off the screen. All right. We got Wallner in there over total bases. I think it was. And Goldie. When I first started playing DFS basketball, like in 2000, 2010, I think, 11. I used to build out my slips, my point guards. I used to start off with Chris Paul and John Wall. And at that time, those were like two of the best point guards in the league. But I just started off with those so that it could show Paul Wall on my slip. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. That's not the best way to build out slips based off, hometown rappers, but it just looked cool on my slip. Paul Wall. We're going on Goldie. What was it? What was it for Paul Wall? It was under on Goldie, right? Under hit runs and RBIs. All right. Let's do it. We're going to pull up props.cash. We're going to dig into these two player props. We're going to see if they look good. And then from there, we can keep them in this slip or we can disregard them. Why don't y'all, when we build out or when we look into player props, can y'all put in the chat like yes or no? I like to know what y'all think of it as we do the research, as we dig into all these games and the numbers. If, put in the chat, like, yeah, keep it or dump it or pump it. What flush it or dunk it, or like it or hate it. All right. There you go. So Paul Goldschmidt under hits, runs, and RBIs. All right, this is what we're looking at. So last 5 games has been a bit of a struggle for him. 0 for 5, 4 for 10. And then against the Rays, he's just 1 for 7 in those games. Today he's projected for 1.4 hits, runs, and RBIs. That jar coffee is getting to me now. No history against Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley is favored to go over strikeouts today. I think his number was set to 5. BVP versus Taj Bradley, none. And then righties on the year. Goldschmidt is he really batting 7th in the lineup? He's batting under 225. 211 batting average with a 31% strikeout rate. We can see his full numbers here. Versus right-handed pitching, batting 211. All his power is coming against right-handed pitching, but the average is not there. Bit of a stronger average against lefties, but the power is down. So, yeah, I mean, if Goldie gets a single today, which is, I think, what he's projected to get, a single, you're okay. As long as he doesn't drive in a run or score a run himself, you're okay. If he hits a home run, I mean, this prop is screwed, which happens most of the time. When a player hits a home run and you take the under on their props, you probably lost that bet. So I think as long as he doesn't hit a home run, you have a good shot at this one. On top of that, you're getting some support from DraftKings and BetMGM here on this line. All right, the other one was Matt Waller. He plays in the Twin Cities, so let's pull up Matt Waller. I pulled up the wrong game. I'm like, this guy's not in this game. There he is. All right. So we're looking to go over total bases for this cat. 0.5 is his line. Over his last 5 games, he's got 13 total bases in 5 games. He's averaging 2.6 per in his last 10. Wow. And his line is only 0.5. All right. We got DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars, and Pinnacle. They all like the over. Nothing too crazy with these odds. They're not like go out and get it right now. I'm more impressed with his game logs. There is no history between him and Javier Assad. So I think we're looking at the same situation that we saw with Taj Bradley versus the Cardinals. No history, no BVP. Righties versus Wallner or Wallner versus righties. 279 batting average with just 40% strikeout rate is 40% strikeout rate is going in the wrong direction. In fact, he has 85 at-bats versus right-handed pitching this season. He's struck out 34 times out of 85 at-bats. So, I mean, he'll probably strike out today at some point, right? Maybe twice. But you need him to get a single. Basically, you just need him to get a hit. So, again, if he gets a hit and then strikes out 3 times, the next 3 at bats, who cares, right? So you're going over on his hits. His average versus righties is super strong. Take a look at Javier Assad versus right-handed or left-handed bats. Like Wallner has done a really good job of keeping the average down. However, the power is almost identical. I would say the power is damn near it's the same, even though he's only given up 6 homers. He's given up 7 to righties. He's also given up a triple and 7 doubles. So there truly is not that big of a difference between righty-lefty split, except that average. The average is driven up against righties because he just hasn't seen as many. You can see that the difference here is 24 batters faced. So just that difference is what's driving that average versus lefties down. I mean, but these numbers are almost the same. I just think that I think 0.5 is a little too low to overlook. So I think that Wallner is a good one. And then you can also add in Goldsmith and hope that he continues his cold streak. Those look good. All right, let's pull up PrizePicks. Yeah, I like that Asia play too, Knuckles. Do I like Mexican OT? I do. I mean, I'm not like his biggest fan just because he's Mexican, but like I think he's actually good. I think he's talented. And I've listened to some of his interviews. He's just he seems like a personable dude, like he gets the business, like he understands shit, which is cool. I saw him here in the Domain one day. I think he had a show here. It was like right after ACL or the other music festival here, but he was driving his big ass Chevy Silverado, big ass truck, burnt orange, like UT burnt orange. He was just driving up and down, blasting his own music and shit. Yeah, he seems like a decent dude. Do I know any college football? I mean, I watch college football. I play college football. I play player prop college football for sure. But I'm not like going to spring practices and stuff. My team is Florida State. I've liked Florida State since I was maybe 9-10 years old because I thought their logo was cool, but at first I thought it was the Washington Redskin logo, which I thought they were the same team. So it wasn't until I just paid more attention and I thought, oh, what's this Seminole team? So then I started watching them and liking them. So I've been a fan of theirs for a long, long time. All right, so let's see if we can finish out this PrizePicks slip, starting off with Wallner and Goldschmidt. We just need 4 more plays to complete the 6th pick. We do have plenty of value. We do have a lot of pitcher fantasy scores as usual. So, I know these aren't the most fun plays to play because they sometimes can be really hit or miss. But in terms of just overall value, PrizePicks again is not offering us a lot to work with today. So we do have this Judge play under his fantasy score on PrizePicks. We have this Nimanja under 18.5 first 2 map headshots. That one's okay because you're getting 2 other points that are much lower. So this one could be in play. Highness. Wow. Even though it's 1 data point, that's a 1.5 difference. And then we have this Phelps play under 31. This one was a much better play earlier today, but what's happening is they dropped his 31.5 to 31, making that discrepancy a little smaller. So it's dropped his EV. Bowden Francis over 3 strikeouts. There's a reason it's at 3 strikeouts. It's super low, but there's a reason for it. I mean, we do have plays here. We may have to go into the red to build this one out, or maybe we just build out a better fantasy play slip and see if we can actually get that one going. PrizePicks has been really bad about the early morning value. So we have 2 plays right off the bat that are gold plays. We want green, but it's not that far off from a plus EV. So we can consider this Colt Keith under, Matt Vierling under. 2 Detroit Tigers players that we cannot put into the same slip because Better Fantasy will ask you to take one over the other. So we can go Colt Keith, this Jordan Spieth under strokes. I believe the Jordan Spieth was on underdog or not. No, I don't think it was on underdog. Stephen Kwan under. We got Jeff McNeil under. I'm going to stay away from Jordan today. But if you are just, hey, you're numbers driven and you want to play the best plays, Jordan is popping on multiple pick'em sites. So you can use that as a good data point. Arcia under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Let's just pick the best 5 and see what that looks like in terms of percentage to hit. Nimmo under walks. Joey Estes over hits. This one also I've seen in different places. So we got 5 picks on the board right now. We got Estes over and a bunch of unders. This is grading out to be a 2.5% chance to hit, but it is negative EV right now just because you can see all the red here. So we can put this slip in. I've played worse, but we can also just wait and see if any value opens up. If you want to play these 5 plays and you have an account on BETR, Colt Keith under, Jordan Spieth over, Stephen Kwan under bases, McNeil under bases, Arcia under hits, runs, and RBIs, and then Joey Estes over hits allowed. That's a 5 pick right there. People play on Dabble. I know Travis plays on, not Travis. Travis, you just started playing on BETR. Man, I forgot who in the Discord plays on Dabble. They got me on the Dabble a little bit. On Dabble, you're getting some good value here. All right, we got Ohtani under bases, Assad under earned runs, Skubal over strikeouts, and then Estes under 2 earned runs. And then you have 2 goal plays here, Joe Ryan under walks, and then Bobby Witt under total bases. So the most profitable slip you can play on Dabble, or not the most profitable slip. Yeah, maybe the most profitable slip is going to be your 5-man non-insured, because you only need minus 121 odds per play. If you went 6-man insured, it is minus 122. I mean, that's almost the same, but it may change a few of the plays. So 5 picks look like the way to go. If you're playing 2 picks on Dabble, I'm assuming you're going non-insured on those. 3 picks look okay. Like if you wanted to go with a 3 pick on Dabble, but 5s and 3s look like the best way to go. So you have 4 right here that are grading out plus EV. And if you added the Joe Ryan play or Witt, or if you wanted to dig deeper into the red and see what's popping here, you can add that one. But we've seen a little bit better value on Dabble today. Does anybody play on Boom? I think it was Vivid Picks. I tried to play on Vivid Picks. It's not in Texas. I was surprised. Like they wouldn't let me play because of my location. On Boom, you got Jimenez over singles, Gurriel under bases. You got McNeil over singles. You have a lot of single props. If you like playing these 0.5 player props, maybe look to Boom Fantasy for some 0.5 singles. I mean, Galoff, Vientos, McNeil, Jimenez. There's 4 right there. You want one more? I mean, you got Blake Perkins under a single. You got Lawrence Butler under a single. Andrew Monasterio over a hit. There's your 5 pick right there. You can go with a 5 pick all singles or 5 pick all hits, basically, and see what you can do there. Parlay play. If you play on Parlay play, we can take a look at some plays on Parlay play. Brandon Pfaadt under 3.5 strikeouts. De La Cruz over stolen base. Something you can also do is you can look on different pick'em sites at their props and obviously see the ones that are grading out the best. And then maybe go try to find those on Underdog or PrizePicks, especially stuff like stolen bases, where that's a demon play on PrizePicks. If you can find a demon prop or his stolen base on PrizePicks, you know, at least you have some support on parlay play. We've done that before here on the stream. Doyle overhits, Rogers overhit. The whole damn Colorado Rockies lineup is going over hits today. A lot of overs on parlay play. A lot of overs on parlay play. If you want to roll with that, you can take a look. All right, let's go back to PrizePicks. Let's see if anything's moved. I really want to build out a slip on PrizePicks, but I'm not willing to force anything. We may have to put in some of these plays that don't have as much support, because a 30 first 2 map kills line on PrizePicks, and you're getting a discrepancy of 3.5, another 3.5, another 3. These are some solid lines. Now, you can't play all 3 of these in the same slip because they're on the same team. So, you know, we would take this one. Tariq Skubal to go under pitcher fantasy score. I think that if you're able to create a story for a pitcher fantasy score, that's good. Like yesterday, stayed away from that Framber Valdez pitcher fantasy score, because when we did the math, based off outs and earned runs and strikeouts, he was almost at his fantasy score. When you add in the quality start bonus, that takes him over. And if he gets the win, he's way over. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Framber Valdez pitched a gem yesterday. He looked great in yesterday's game against the Rangers. And he finished with 8.2 innings pitched, which is 26 fantasy points. 5 strikeouts, that's 41 fantasy points. He gets the quality start, that's 45. Minus 2 earned runs, that's 39 fantasy points. And he got the win. He had 45 fantasy points, but even without the win, he had 39 fantasy points. His line was 31.5. So if you can create a story with the fantasy score that takes you over it, just stay away from it. I think it's important to trust your research. And so with Tariq Skubal, we saw the over on his strikeout, that's 7.5, which is 8. That's 24 fantasy points. This guy goes 6 innings on the regular. 24 plus 18 is 42 fantasy points. Quality start, that's 46 fantasy points. I mean, he'd have to get blown up. He'd have to give up 3 earned runs or more to not get the over on this one. So a lot would have to happen for him to not go over, not so much for him to go under. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, wait, I say that backwards? A lot would have to go wrong for him to not go over. There you go. There you go. So I'm not going to play that one. You can, if you want to take the under, or maybe you can play both. Go over and under in a slip. I don't know. That's a good strategy to do with the tacos sometimes. Unless it's Anthony Edwards. Here's another fluffy gangsters that we can't put in, but that's a 3 kill discrepancy. George Kirby, Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas does not play for the Nationals anymore. Lane Thomas plays for the Guardians. Let's throw his ass in there. We got Uramyata and Lane Thomas. That gives us 4 because we have Goldie and Waller waiting on us. Here's a Ramirez under. Life over 30 first 2 map kills. Nimanha under. We already hated on Judge on Underdog. If you want to hate on him again on PrizePicks, you can. I mean, the scoring system is different on PrizePicks and Underdog, which is why you see the higher line on Underdog. But it ultimately just grades out to be the same. You know, this is the equivalent of what we saw on Underdog. So that gives us 3. That's a 5 pick right there. Something got removed here. Oh, Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas got removed. So can't play that Lane Thomas play. So must have been a much better play than people knew. If it got taken off the board, or either that or he's not playing today. So all right, so there's a 4 that we have right there. We definitely need 2 more plays. We're not playing a 4 pick. We're not playing a 4 pick slip on PrizePicks. That's not a good payout. All right, so yeah. Can you check out Cole Reagan's fantasy score? What's up, Travis? What's the Asia play and Ramirez basis? Can you review? It was Asia Wilson over her points on Underdog because it was at 20.5, and the other sites are playing it at 21.5, so it's much lower. Ramirez over hits, runs, and RBIs, and Ragan's over. All right. Yeah, it's a Kobe shirt. I bought it on Etsy because I was looking at just Kobe stuff, and I saw it and I was like, "Oh, that's dope." But I think when people see it, when I wear it, people I don't know what they think it is at first because you know, they'll be like, "Oh, that's a cool shirt," and I say, "Oh, cool. You know what it is?" And they're like, "No, what?" And I say, "Oh, it's Kobe's numbers." And they're like, "Oh." And I was like, "Kobe Bryant?" "Oh, okay." So I'm thinking like, what does 824 mean? Is there like a hidden meaning there? I thought maybe they think it means like 8 days a week, 24 hours a day. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what they think it is. But I guess if you're a sports fan, you see 8 and 24, that's synonymous with Kobe. So you just know, right? Kobe Day, Kobe numbers. But I guess if you're not watching sports or if you don't really keep up with sports, you're just like, "Oh, cool, Kobe Bryant, nice shirt." So, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. It's fucking purple. All right, Jose Ramirez over his runs and RBIs is game log wise is looking good. You got 2 data points. I like the over on this one. No numbers against Brandon Pfaadt. If we look at his total bases today, slightly unders on his total bases. It's not necessary for a player to go over total bases to go over his runs and RBIs. In fact, they don't always correlate because a player can hit a double in his first at bat and then go 0 for 3 in the next 4 at bats, go over total bases, but not over total hits, runs, and RBIs. Even if a player goes over hits, runs, and RBIs, he can do that with a single. Like, he can get a single, get on base, and then he can hit a sac fly. There's your RBI, and there's just 1 hit. So it's possible to do one over the other. It's not always correlated, but I do think that if a player is projected to go over hits, runs, and RBIs, there's a pretty good shot at him going over fantasy score. So you got 3 points for a single. You got 2 points for the RBI. You have 2 points for the run. That's 7 fantasy points right there. He would obviously need a walk. He would obviously need to do one more thing, whatever that is, whether it's a double instead of a single. Maybe he hits a home run. Maybe he steals. Jose Ramirez can steal bases, though. Even if his hits, runs, and RBIs aren't equaling over fantasy score, he can steal bases. So if he's on first and he steals second, that's 8 fantasy points right there. And he just needs to score a run or drive in a run and he's over. So fantasy is always in play if the hits, runs, and RBIs is looking good, like this one is. When you look at Ramirez versus right-handed pitching on the year, the batting average is down, but the power is up. 18 homers, 12 doubles, 43 singles, 1 triple. Much lower batting average because he has almost 3 times the amount of plate appearances as he does against lefties. So by default, the lefty average is going to look great, but the power is not as strong as what you're seeing with righties. Brandon Pfaadt, because Ramirez does hit from both sides of the plate, it really doesn't matter in this matchup. Maybe we see him bat from the left side because that's what Brandon Pfaadt is allowing, a higher average and almost as much power. Where's the other tab? I have 2 PrizePicks tabs pulled up. So yesterday we were all over Jose Ramirez strikeouts. And we didn't get a chance for that to hit because the game got canceled. Different game, different pitcher, different matchup, right? A lot of these games start early today. If you notice that we were getting really good odds on his hits, runs, and RBIs, so that's been nerfed. You can also go over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Ramirez. I mean, if you believe what we're seeing here in terms of projections, -140 to go over, he's projected for 3 hits, runs, and RBIs, a single, a run, and an RBI. This game is at home. Pretty strong numbers at home. Over his last 10 games at home, he has 3 home runs. In his last 5 games at home, he has 2 home runs. I don't hate going the over on his demon line because it's going to create a nice little payout boost for us. And then we're already getting good support on the over. So if you wanted to do that, you could. If you wanted to play it safer, I guess the safer play would be the over on fantasy score. Maybe his total bases. That could work. Right? It's so weird when I say something about a sports team and people are like, "Oh, what's that?" or "Oh, I don't watch sports." I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess it'd be the same if someone's like, talking about Australian politics or something, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that." They'd be like, "Okay, whatever, man." Everybody has that thing that if the other person doesn't know about it, it's almost like a red flag. But sports is pretty goddamn universal. So I feel like even though if you're not an avid sports fan, you know about it. You know what sports are. You know what players are, All right, we need one more. Ramirez. Who was the other one? Oh, Cole Ragan fantasy points. Okay. Is that who's pitching against the Astros today? No, that's not. Ragans is is Ragans in Kansas City or is he in Texas? Jose Urania is on the mound for Texas. Okay, that might be why the game total so damn high. Both of these guys can get hit hard. Both of these guys can get lit up. Yeah, he's in Kansas City. All right. Okay. Cole Ragans fantasy points. So right off the bat, projection wise, he's projected for 7 strikeouts. That's 21 fantasy points. If he gets you the 18 here, that's 39 fantasy points. If he allows 2 earned runs, that's 33 fantasy points. Then with the quality start bonus, that's 37 fantasy points. And then he would need the win to go over 40, which I haven't looked at his fantasy score, but I'm assuming his fantasy score is closer to 40 than it is to 35. Oh, no, it's 35 on the dot. Oh, wow. That feels low. That feels a little low. Obviously, pitcher fantasy scores can get away from us in a heartbeat. A guy can go out there and get lit up for 5 runs in the first inning, and that's it. He's done. Or he could just have a really efficient game and not strike out a lot of batters, but just keep the ball in the park and go 7 innings with 3 strikeouts and like no earned runs, which would be 21, 30, 34, right? Something like that. In his last 10 games, he has gone over 18 just one time, but man, he's right there every game. That's really consistent. Earned runs over his last 10 games. Last 3 games, he's been getting rocked a little bit. Up until then, he's kept the ball in the park. Runs are low, but against Cleveland, Arizona, and Chicago. Now, when we look at the Red Sox, they are the most strikeout heavy team in the major leagues at 28%. That is number 1. That's not the number 1 you want to be. Ragans is averaging 1.19 strikeouts per inning. BVP on the year, Yoshida and Rafaela have positive numbers against him. On the year against lefties, though, this Red Sox team does put up some decent averages against lefties, but look at the strikeouts, man. 24, 26, 32, 33. You have you only have 1 batter in this lineup that's under 15%, and that's Yoshida. The next best one is Danny Jansen at 17.5%. And all these numbers are at home. So if we want to take a look at what he's done just overall, not at home, you know, he's averaging 7 strikeouts. He's averaging 18 innings pitched. But at home, he's averaging 17.5 innings pitched. He's averaging 7.5 strikeouts. All right. His strikeout numbers actually go up at home. So, all right, let's do it. We got under on Nimana, under on you were Miata. We got over Wallner, under Goldie, over Ramirez, Demon, and then we got over Cole Ragans, 35.5 pitcher fantasy score. This is a payout boost to 30x instead of 25x. A minimal bet of $5 can get us a profit of $150. You put 10 on it, you are going after 300. Just do the math. Do the math. So this is more of a community slip here, as everybody kind of chipped in on this one. That's what it's been like on PrizePicks the last couple of days. All right, so we have an underdog slip built. There's your PrizePicks slip built. And there's your link to PrizePicks today. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like button, especially hit the like button if you're telling these slips. 2 built already. We'll take a quick look at BETR, but yeah, if nothing's popping on BETR, we'll go ahead and get out of here on a Wednesday morning. We'll go ahead and we'll make like an ice cream cone and dip on out of here. All right, so BETR is offering us BETR. The EV on BETR is never as high as it is on other pick'em sites, but what we can do is look for support. So 5 or more data points. You got 6 for the Stephen Kwan play. You got 6 for the Freddie Furman German play. Joey Estes under 4.5 strikeouts. All these plays are getting tons of support. So you have options here, or you can just wait a couple hours and see, what the board looks like, at noon. But right now, this is what we're working with here. It's not a lot. It's not a lot on BETR. So Underdog is presenting the best value once again. Underdog is giving us way more plays to work with. You don't have to like all these plays. I'm just saying that all these plays are in consideration based off plus EV. I mean, look at this. It just goes on and on and on. I know this says under Jose Ramirez, 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. We already put it in a slip, so I'm going to ride with that one. It is a demon play, and even if that demon play doesn't hit for us on PrizePicks, it still will give us a payout boost if we go 5 out of 6. So it still has upside. Wembanyama over 3.5 assists. All right, so if you want to start playing some of these Olympic basketball props, they're starting to hit the board now. You got Wemby over 3.5 assists. You had Edwards up here under 19.5 points and rebounds. Here's Gunnar Henderson over 2 hits, runs, and RBIs today. Where was he yesterday? There's again Aaron Judge. Let's see. LeBron James under. Again, these Olympic basketball plays are starting to hit the boards. The game is tomorrow. These games are tomorrow. Germany versus France. Serbia versus United States of America. Why did I say it like that? Serbia versus USA. Jarren Duran over 7 batter hitting fantasy score. We took the over Cole Ragan's fantasy score, but Jarren Duran can do this in multiple ways. He can steal a base. He can score a run. He can hit a home run. I mean, even if he has a game where he, is at 10 fantasy points, it doesn't necessarily mean that Cole Ragans is getting rocked. I mean, this guy can do a lot of different things. So there you go. There you go. 2 slips built today on the stream. Underdog, again, by far giving us the most value. If you haven't signed up on Underdog, just sign up on Underdog. If you need a referral code, check out my stream description. I have all my promo codes in there. You can use it. You can sign up, get a deposit match, or just whatever. Just play on a different pick'em site than PrizePicks, because on days like this, where the board is very dry, you're going to feel forced to play plays. And that's never a good thing. The more options you have, the more slips you can build, the more correlation you can create, the more leverage you have. And long term, you should be making more money. That's really the biggest bottom line, is this will result in you making more money. If you're only playing on one pick'em site, then that's all you know, and you don't know anything else that's going on out there. It's hard to identify value when you only know one thing. So the more you expose yourself to, I think the more profitable you'll be. And that's my take. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today. Link in the chat. We did not build out a slip on BETR today. Travis, we did build out a slip on PrizePicks and Underdog. Both of those links are in the chat. But there you go. Lauri Markkanen has agreed to a 5-year, $238 million extension. Is he that good? So if he signed his extension, that means he cannot get traded until what, 6 months into the season or 6 months from now? Damn. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. All right. Let's win today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's win today. Appreciate y'all being here. Always appreciate y'all stopping by. Drop a like on your way out. Make sure you sub up to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification icon. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. for another Player Prop Talk live stream right here on the channel. We'll review our slips for today. Hopefully we have more than just jabs. Hopefully we have a knockout punch to talk about tomorrow morning. But I hope all your player props respect the damn coin. I hope all your player props do you right. Again, appreciate y'all being here. And until tomorrow's Player Prop Talk live stream, Chavez is out.